Hey guys, your boy Sean Bellamy back with you with a brand new episode of Jack of All Players here on my channel. This is episode 9 of Jack of All Plays. Like I said, on my channel, you guys know to stick by now with Jack of All Plays. A podcast where I talk about, any sports topic I feel like talking about, cover mostly NBA, NFL, sometimes baseball, sometimes National Hockey League. But overall, just giving y'all my thoughts of what was going on throughout the week. So let's get right to it. Again, this is Jack of All Plays, episode 9 podcast. Starting in NBA, the news came out, rumors mostly, that James Harden is expected to rejoin the Houston Rockets this offseason. And obviously, if you know, I'm looking to the side, looking at my computer where I got all my notes and stuff. So yeah, it's rumored. It wasn't, super confirmed. Obviously, we have a long way to go because the offseason hasn't even officially started. We did have the NBA draft lottery, which the Spurs did get the number 1 pick. But besides that, we're still in the middle of the playoffs as far as the Eastern Conference and Western Conference finals, which I'll go over in a little bit. But if this is true, I just want to say that James Harden is in the way to me. I think he's an amazing talent. I think he's definitely a first ballot Hall of Famer. I think he's one of the argue definitely on that list as far as his offensive game being like maybe one definitely in the top list we have seen. No disrespect as far as the player, but the off the court stuff that James Harden, this type stuff, is so annoying to me, and that's why I said I think he's in the way. This is the same James Harden. Like I said, if he goes back to the Houston Rockets, it's the same James Harden that forced his way out of Houston when he wanted to get out of there. And I think the Rockets wanted to hold on to him. I forgot what year that was, but it wasn't that long ago is my point. He forced his way out of Houston. He gets to Brooklyn where he wanted to play with Kyrie and Kevin Durant with the Brooklyn Nets. We understood how that whole thing went. Then he forced himself out of Brooklyn to get to Philly, where I thought, and a lot of people thought, was his best chance to win a championship over the Eastern Conference. Very competitive conference, but I thought the Sixers, they had definitely a better chance winning with James Harden than they did with Ben Simmons. So he forced himself out of Philly, and that was pretty much it. Obviously, we know how this story ended for Philly this year with them choking in the playoffs against the Boston Celtics in the second round of this year's playoffs. But as soon as it was over, they fired Doc Rivers, I believe, that next week on a Tuesday, which I think was last week. They fired Doc Rivers. And it was last week or 2 weeks ago. But yeah, but the rumor, but also a lot of people were saying about James Harden is that he was not going to come back to Philly if Doc Rivers was going to be the coach again. So a lot of people think James Harden has something to do with Doc Rivers getting fired because, Daryl Morey being the GM who used to, work with Harden over in Houston, chose James Harden over Doc Rivers, if that is true. Overall, dude, I'm saying it's just, I'm really tired of this. Again, I'm a huge NBA fan, but I really hate when, especially with star players, they just keep forcing themselves out of situations. They move from team to team, jumping and jumping. I don't understand why he would want to leave Philly. I think it is his best chance to win. I don't think Philly's winning anytime soon, but I do think it's his best chance to win when you pairing yourself alongside MVP, who was Joel Embiid. I still think Philly has a good team. I don't know. I don't know what he's going to do in Houston. This isn't the same MVP James Harden that they had in Houston those years back. So putting him back on Houston, where Houston is clearly a bad team that is rebuilding with young players, I don't know what James Harden's going to possibly do going there. Now, there's also a funny rumor going around that he wants to go back to Houston so he can go back to, the clubs out in Houston versus the clubs being in Philadelphia. Obviously, the clubs in Houston are probably way better than the clubs in Philadelphia. And which, if that is true, that's ridiculous because that has nothing to do with basketball sense. That means you don't care about winning. You don't care about anything except just having, that nightlife, I guess. And I'm bringing that up because it is very well documented that James Harden loves going out to clubs. That's his thing. The guy likes letting loose and chilling and stuff like that with him and his friends, his boys. So I don't know. Do I think it's true? No, because I just think that would be ridiculous. I don't get it. Just leave a championship contending team or a team that can give you a chance, best chance at a title, to go back to a team that is not going anywhere. You know what I mean? He'll just be around a bunch of young dudes, which is, there's nothing wrong with that if he wants to mentor the young dudes, but I don't know. I just feel like this far in his career, he's not getting any younger. Why would you not just stay in Philadelphia? Another rumor also with James Harden, there's a bunch of rumors. That's why I said we don't know if this is true or not. I'm just giving my speculation after hearing all these rumors, the one other team that was thrown in the mix was the Phoenix Suns. Like, he goes and pairs up. They get rid of Chris Paul, and he pairs up with Devin Booker and Kevin Durant. Which obviously, if even like I said, I'm not the biggest fan of guys jumping from team to team, that would obviously be the better option than going to Houston, because you look at Phoenix, they are a contending team in the West. And if you look at that team with James Harden, Devin Booker, and Kevin Durant, James Harden would definitely be the third option, but I think that would be good for him playing alongside KD and Devin Booker, who would definitely, get their own shots and do their own thing as well. So if he does decide to change teams, because I'm not the biggest fan of guys keep doing that, if he does decide to do it and leave Philly, then yeah, go to Phoenix. Go to a team that at least give you a chance to win versus you just choosing to go to Houston because, I want to know, like, why Houston? This isn't like they're not going anywhere. I don't get it. I don't know. Maybe he just misses Houston. Moving on. The Boston Celtics are in trouble. Game 3, I believe, is tonight at 8:30. Eastern time. Obviously, I'm over in PA, so it's Eastern time for me, 8:30. On TNT. But they are in trouble. The Boston Celtics are now, they're down, they're down 0-2 after losing to the Miami Heat 111-105. Jimmy Butler proved again that he is him, scoring 27 points and trash-talking the entire Boston fan base. Also, trash-talking Grant Williams. There was a moment in the game, I think it was in the third quarter or maybe fourth quarter, I forgot, where Grant Williams and Jimmy, I guess, was already barking at each other. Jimmy got an and one or whatever. And immediately they came head to head. They put their heads together and was trash talking and stuff like that. Obviously it didn't end well for Grant Williams and the team. I think Grant Williams ended up fouling out in that last game. And Jimmy Butler, of course, like I said, playoff Jimmy is real. Everyone knows this by now. I don't know what goes on. Jimmy Butler is not a scrub in the regular season by any means. Like, he plays well in the regular season, but it goes under the radar because no one really gives Miami that much respect as they should. With Eric Spoelstra, should have, definitely coach of the year, definitely Hall of Fame coach. Pat Riley, who, GM of the team, he does his thing and everything like that. And again, the Miami Heat is just a team that is so well, constructed and put together. They're just a team that flies on the radar all year. Coming into the playoffs, they were a play-in team. I think they ended up being officially the 8th seed. But when you actually pay attention and, look at their team, you realize they're not an 8th seed. I don't even believe when I see it says 8th seed next to their name. They're not an 8th seed. This is a team that you did not want to see in the playoffs, and definitely one of the main things was because of Jimmy Butler. So, excuse me. The playoff, like I said, Jimmy is not a scrub in the regular season, but when it comes to the playoffs, this man level goes up. And that's what, oh my God, he used to play for the Chicago Bulls, Jimmy Butler is a dog, is what I'm going to say, man. Grant Williams or anybody on the Celtics team, you don't want to trash talk Jimmy Butler, dude. That's the last dude you want to do. He makes it his mission to go at you, to make you feel his presence. Jimmy Butler is a playoff superstar. That man is ridiculous when he gets in the playoffs. He everything just goes up an extra notch for him, as it should. It's the NBA playoffs. You're trying to win a championship. But I can't explain it. No one can, man. His ability to just turn it on soon as that playoff bell rings, or I said snap. I put a snap on it. As soon as that playoff bell goes off, he's just ready to go, man. So like I said, the Celtics are down 0-2. The reason why, of course, they're in trouble not just being down 0-2. This wasn't like they lost both times in Miami. They're the higher seed, and they lost at home twice to the Miami Heat. And now Game 3 and Game 4 will be in Miami. Like I said, Game 3 is tonight. Like I said, Jimmy Butler had 27 points. Jason Tatum actually had 34 points, but he had 0 points in the fourth quarter. I think that was the second time, back-to-back games, basically Game 1 and Game 2, he had 0 points in the fourth quarter. I know as soon as that happened, people started calling Jason Tatum overrated. People have so much recency bias, it's so ridiculous. Like, he did just score 50 points to eliminate the Sixers in a Game 7 in Boston. Like, I'm not going to sit here and say the man's overrated. I do think he needs to pick it up, of course. He could probably tell you that. Because scoring 0 points after having 34 all game is really insane. So, but Jason Tatum knows that, man. Like, obviously, I don't know the man personally, but I'm pretty sure he's kicking himself about that. Like, look, I got to step it up. What's confusing me, and I think a lot of people that's watching this series, is when you look at both sides, Miami and Boston, Eric Spoelstra and the Miami Heat understand what they're trying to do and what they are. versus the Boston Celtics, where you would think by now they know who they are. They are a great defensive team, but for some reason they refuse to run the offense through Jason Tatum at times. There's like literal possessions where this dude will be, maybe not even touch the ball on a possession. He'll go in the corner, Marcus Smart, maybe Malcolm Brogdon's out there, and my God, I forgot his name. Oh, Jaylen Brown, I'm sorry. Jaylen Brown will be on the court and they'll, run some little action, whatever, but then there's times when Jason Tatum's not even involved in the play or of the set or anything. It's versus Miami Heat, where Jimmy Butler is in like the last 8-7 minutes of a fourth quarter. He has the ball in his hands. It's going to be going through him. He's either going to make a shot like he has done, playoff Jimmy, or he's going to make the right play and get his teammates an open bucket. And we put a lot of pressure on Boston's defense. No one knows why Boston is not doing the same with Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum has good handles. He can handle the ball. I think he's a good playmaker. You give him a chance. And, of course, he can get his own shot with his length and ability. I don't understand why Boston is not just playing through him in the whole fourth quarter. Just play through Jason Tatum. Let him make the play and get his other guys involved. Force Miami to absolutely have to pay attention to Jason Tatum. There should be rarely any cases, definitely like the last 6-5 minutes of the fourth quarter, in a close game, in a playoff game, you're just having Jason Tatum take 1 or 2 shots or just let him sit to the side as a decoy or some stuff. You're not doing nothing but just helping Miami out. I don't know why the Boston does not just copy what Miami's doing. I think Miami expects that at some Miami expects that at some point. Play through Jason Tatum. I don't get that. I really don't. And it's no disrespect to the rest of the Boston Celtics team. They have a very good team. I like their roster, but he is your dude. That is your guy. You don't make it this far without him. So why not finish with him? It just seems like they're having an identity crisis and or trying to find their identity in a playoffs, which we're in the Eastern Conference Finals at this point. You should know the type of game plan you want to orchestrate every single time you're at this point. It doesn't make any sense. But yeah, they're in trouble. They're now 0-2. Game 3 Miami and Game 4 also Miami. I do believe Boston will get one game. I think they could win Game 3 or Game 4. The point is, I don't think the series goes more than 5. I know that maybe sound premature because obviously Boston can win back-to-back to make it 2-2 and make again a one-game series going whatever. But no, it's just the way Miami plays defense, the way their roster is constructed. I can't see Eric Spoelstra and this team squandering this opportunity to get to the NBA Finals when you're already up 2-0. I don't see a sweep, but I do think Boston wins either Game 3 tonight or Game 4. But I do think Miami finishes the series in 5. Maximum 6. I can't see Miami giving up back-to-back home games to Boston. I just can't see it. Moving on down. Get my computer, pull the notes down. The Lakers are done, or should be done, I should say, because it's not official yet. The Los Angeles Lakers lost again yesterday night to the Denver Nuggets to go down 0-3. I forgot what the score was that they lost, but it was a really tight game throughout in the first quarter. The Denver Nuggets, this is Game 3 in Los Angeles at Staples Center, and the Lakers already come down 0-2 after losing both in Denver. But it was like, you know what, this is kind of expected. Denver is a great team at home. Lakers are a great defensive team. They got LeBron James, they got AD. They also Reeves been playing very well. Darvin Ham's doing a good job as a coach. So I was like, okay, this series should be, tied up or at least be 2-1 after, I'm making this podcast episode today. But no, it did not happen. The Lakers at one point, I think, was down like 24-10 in the first quarter, but they did come back throughout. I think they even took the lead in the fourth quarter. It was a close game throughout once the second half got underway. But I don't know where Joker took over. Nikola Jokic, he did his thing. A lot of people believe he's the right MVP. I'm not going to get in that discussion. That's another video another time. He did his thing. He came alive in the second half after struggling a lot in the first half. Bruce Brown has been really a huge asset for the Denver Nuggets. And Jamal Murray had 30 points in the first half. I don't think he scored a single point in the third, but he came up with like 2-3 huge buckets to finish with 37 points in the fourth quarter. He had like 2-3 big shots in the fourth quarter that really helped put the game away. Overall, dude, the Los Angeles Lakers, they're not better than Denver. It's just that simple. I had this series. I'm not gonna, act like I'm, bandwagon switching here. I had the Lakers winning this series in 6, but I did not at all had any thought process that the Lakers were gonna go down 0-3. Now, the question everyone's bringing up is, will the Lakers come back? Obviously, no one in NBA history, no team in NBA history has come down from 3-0. It's never happened. It has happened with 3-1. LeBron, obviously, we know that. Kyrie and the Cavaliers beat Golden State Warriors after Golden State Warriors up 3-1 in the NBA Finals. I'm not a person that believes the NBA is rigged. I rarely get into that. I try to get in those discussions with people. I see people say it. I never come at people that do believe it. If you do believe it, man, that's cool. That's on you. But I rarely, get into those thoughts. I never really think, oh man, this is rigged for this team or this player. I try not to go into it with that thought process. But let me say this right now in this episode, and I'll probably make a separate video if it does happen. I'm hoping to God it does not. Please, basketball gods, do not. There better not be a script for this. I will really start to believe the NBA is rigged if somehow the Lakers come back down from 0-3. I don't care if they come back just to tie the series at 3 apiece. The Lakers better not come back. I'm sorry. I love LeBron James. I like AD. There's no hate I have towards the Lakers franchise or their fans. I just don't get it. It seemed like yesterday the refs were doing everything they could to keep the Los Angeles Lakers in the game when you really watch closely. There was ticky-tack fouls. The Lakers, I think, at one point had like 10 more free throw attempts than the Nuggets did at one point. I think that actually was probably the spread over the difference when you think of the. But I know in the first half, the Lakers had 18 free throws to the Nuggets only like 8 or 9, which is not a huge thing, but overall, you could just see there were some calls like they was trying their best to keep the Lakers in the game to the point where I tweeted, the Lakers literally need LeBron to do some GOAT magic stuff or the refs need to pull a rabbit out of their hat to keep the game. I don't know. And I was joking, joking with it a little bit, but also in my mind, I was like, look, I don't know, man. There's no way that the Lakers should come back, dude. The series is over. I know it sounds premature saying that when it's a series to whoever gets to 4 versus obviously it's not a series that ends in 3. But you're down 3-0. You have been outplayed this entire series, and the Denver Nuggets just seem like the better team. I think the Lakers could get one in Los Angeles. I think Game 4 is tomorrow on Monday. I think the Lakers could get one in Los Angeles to go take it back to Denver to make it 3-1. But after that, dude, that's it. I refuse to believe a team this close to the NBA Finals, and I'm talking about the Denver Nuggets, starts playing very stupid or starts doing things uncharacteristically and all this stuff. I refuse to believe that. I'm sorry. That would not make a lick of sense. This would be so much huge ammo for people that really thinks this shit is rigged. There's a script out there that's telling the games how they should go, and I know it sounds ridiculous. I don't want to believe it, but I will start believing it because that's ridiculous. There's no way you could tell me that any explanation how a team down from 0-3 has not even looked anywhere close to being better than the team they're facing all of a sudden wins 4 straight games. No. I think the Nuggets understand they need to finish this, and I would rather the series just end in Los Angeles, not even go back to Denver. But out of respect for LeBron and this team, I do think they can definitely, eke out a win or whatever, squeak by, and get a win in Los Angeles in Game 4 to avoid getting swept. But after that, dude, this series should be done. There's other thing that's bothered me about this series. I mean, LeBron is you could argue he's the GOAT. I started leaning towards believing he's the GOAT. I have Michael and him. I don't get in this debate. Actually, I got 2 GOATs. I'm just putting that out there. I think Michael Jordan's the GOAT of his era. LeBron's the GOAT of this era. I don't care what you might say. I know people say you can't have 2 GOATs, but I don't try to get in that debate. I hate that debate. The debate has gotten so annoying to the point where I just think they're both GOATs. Michael Jordan, LeBron James. Saying that, though, LeBron has a tendency to do things that really just confuses you. He literally, you argue, he's probably the best guy when it comes to driving, driving down the lane in the paint, getting into the getting to the paint, driving down to the rim, whatever. He's one of the best. You argue, he's one of the best finishers that the league has seen. Again, the guy his size, able to handle the ball way he can. You know all this. I don't need to explain to you how good LeBron James is. For some reason in this series, this dude is shooting more threes than I thought he would take. I get there's at times the Nuggets are giving him that, but LeBron really could get to the rim at will if he wanted to. The Denver Nuggets are not like a huge, a great defensive front as far as the paint type team. They don't have a guy really down there that can really give you problems with the rim. Joker here and there, but Joker's not the best defender when it comes in the paint. So they have that there if LeBron wanted to. Like, I don't know why. I think he shot like 8, 9 3-pointers yesterday. I don't know what he's doing. He's made 3 or 4 of them, but it was like early in the game where it's like, dude, I just don't understand the decisions he's making where he's doing that. His pattern, like, is step to the side and then just shoot it. And I don't know. I know there's sometimes people say the ball comes in and out and stuff like that. I'm not saying like he's airballing these 3-pointers, but I don't understand why LeBron is settling for threes when he could just go to the rim. It's very weird to me that he's doing that. Yeah, I don't know. I get a lot of, again, not just me, Lakers fans, other fans just watching this. It's just like, dude, he's shooting so many threes for the sake of shooting threes. I don't get it. It'd be early in the shot clock. It don't even be like it's like 2 seconds left. He has to, throw up a shot. He's literally just doing it. When he bringing the ball up the court, kind of just standing there for like 3 seconds and just says, fuck it. And he just shoots it. I don't know why he's doing it. But overall, man, this series should be done. It's either the Denver Nuggets sweep them tomorrow to win 4-0 and go to NBA Finals, or they beat them in 5, which is 4-1. But I'm telling you right now, this shit is rigged, or at least there's some script involved or some bull BS if somehow the Lakers come back and win this series. Like this should be. There should be no more discussion about this series after Monday. It may be after when they'll probably play again on Wednesday. If the Lakers win Game 4 tomorrow on Monday, Wednesday I think will be the next game because they go back to Denver. After that, by the end of the week, end of next week, no one should be talking about the Lakers and Nuggets again. No one. This should be it. So yeah, that's how the Eastern Conference playoffs going on for both teams right now. And like I said, with the James Harden news or supposed news, whatever. We're going to move on our way, guys, to the NFL. Rest in peace to, so we're in the NFL. Rest in peace to the NFL legend, Jim Brown. Jim Brown died at the age of 87 on Thursday. The family of the legend, Jim Brown, said he passed away peacefully in his home on Thursday. For people that don't know, Jim Brown was an NFL running back who played for the Cleveland Browns for 9 seasons. 9-time Pro Bowler, 8-time first team All Pro, 3-time MVP, and won a championship also for the Cleveland Browns. He also was a cultural figure and role model for athletes everywhere. And my condolences go to him and his family. So I did want to say that. I'm pretty sure NFL will do some type of tribute or something to him. Definitely the Cleveland Browns will once the season starts or something like that. Yeah, he's one of the greatest running backs to play this game. I'm only 29 years old. I turned 30 this year. So obviously, I was a young buck. I was way, way too young. I wasn't even know if I was born at that time when Jim Brown was actually, doing his thing and, being, you could argue, like I said, the best player in football during his prime. But obviously, growing up and watching NFL, being a huge NFL fan myself, I pay attention to a lot of teams, even though the Philadelphia Eagles are my team. Obviously, you hear a lot of things about the way Cleveland, Ohio really respected and loved Jim Brown. Tons of players, NFL, NBA, no matter what you're talking about, especially NFL though, players, say rest in peace to the legend, a lot of respect and stuff like that, and their hearts and condolences going to him and his family. But yeah, it's sad to hear that. It was good to hear, for what it's worth. It was good to hear that he did pass away peacefully, in his home. So, rest in peace to Jim Brown. That was sad to hear, but yeah, one of the greats, man. I believe Roger Goodell put out something as well, saying that he didn't just love him as a player. Like I said, he also was a role model for athletes everywhere. Moving on, the Pittsburgh Steelers extend Mitchell Trubisky. The Steelers and the quarterback agreed to a 2-year extension on Thursday, according to NFL Network reporter Ian Rappaport. The deal is $19.4 million over 3 years and can earn up to $33 million. Last season, Trubisky threw for 1,252 passing yards, 4 touchdowns, and 5 interceptions in 7 games for Pittsburgh. He was a starting quarterback at one point before being benched for their now starter, Kenny Pickett. Not much on this. My girlfriend is a Steelers fan. I kind of teased her a little bit that they brought back Trubisky, and I don't know why I teased her, because, again, he's a backup. The point is he was brought back to be a backup to Kenny Pickett. Kenny Pickett, I believe, is obviously the better quarterback between the two. There was definitely times where, I know the Steelers didn't make the playoffs last year, but I thought you look back at their games last year when Mitchell Trubisky started, they had chances to win games here and there, but when he was a quarterback, he made a lot of really terrible decisions down the stretch or in the midst of the game where you scratch your head and really you look back, it cost the Steelers maybe 2-3 games here and there they could have won. So I thought it made perfect sense when Mike Tomlin, great head coach, by the way, for Pittsburgh, who still hasn't had a losing season at all as a Pittsburgh Steelers coach. I thought they made the right decision by benching him and putting Kenny Pickett out there. Kenny Pickett obviously has some rough road to hit, whatever, but being a young player that he is, he made definitely some plays there you look at where you're saying, okay, Pittsburgh got something in him. If keeps working on his game, they keep building around him, doing what they can to help the young dude. I feel like the Steelers definitely found their quarterback in the future. I like Kenny Pickett a lot. I definitely think he could be a good player in this league. So again, there's really not much about this. Just news to report here on Jack of All Plays. They extended Mitch Trubisky. He's going to be the backup. Hopefully Kenny Pickett stays healthy so they don't ever have to put Mitch Trubisky in and not try to be rude, say Mitch Trubisky's horrible. But I'm saying, I want to really see Kenny Pickett have a full season. Don't have to go back and forth of, we got to put Mitchell in now because Kenny's playing bad, or we got to put Kenny back in because Mitchell's playing bad. Let's just get a full season. We'll see what Kenny Pickett can do, healthy, and really see if, like I said, he can be their guy in the future. So that was it, you guys, for NFL. Not tons of NFL news, obviously, because at this point, everyone's just kind of waiting for, I believe there's going to be roster cuts and stuff going forward. But I'm not going to really report that type of stuff. This is the NFL. This is what happens in the offseason. Again, there's nothing else really to report. After the draft, free agency, everyone's kind of just waiting for training camp. Well, I believe training camp kind of started for rookies and stuff. But overall, people are just waiting for August. We can't wait for August. That where start talking about preseason, you start talking about who's on the roster, who's going to be here, maybe some surprise moves here, surprise cuts here. Then we'll get all into that. But at this point, NFL just kind of going with the flow, and just everything else. There was one other thing I didn't even put down on my computer on my notes for this episode. There's word that Antonio Brown is trying to make his NFL return, or he's playing football somewhere. I don't know where it was. I don't know if it's the USFL or so. I don't remember what it was, but I saw something where he's going to play, and I will just say no thank you if he somehow gets back to the NFL. We all know about Antonio Brown, and I really don't have really much to say about the dude. I wish him the best, but I don't really see how he could possibly believe he can get back in the NFL if that's what he was trying to do. Again, I could be wrong. He could just have signed with a team else in another league, football league, but yeah, I don't know. I'm pretty sure the NFL is done with Antonio Brown. And the last thing you can talk about here, guys, for wrap this episode up is the National Hockey League Playoffs. I've said this, I believe, in my last episode, episode 8. I have been enjoying the National Hockey League Playoffs a lot more than I have been enjoying NBA playoffs. That's not just come out the NBA or say it's been horrible, but NHL playoffs, the National Hockey League, it's been more exciting. The games. Like I told you guys before, I feel like the referees are not really having their hands in a cookie jar when it comes to these games. They're not deciding it. These are some really, really close games. And we got some good games this past week when the conference finals started for the Eastern Conference and Western Conference over in hockey. So like I say, the conference finals for both Eastern and Western Conference did start this week. And there's only 4 teams remaining. The Dallas Stars going up against the Vegas Golden Knights in the Western Conference finals. In the Eastern Conference Finals, you have the Florida Panthers and the Carolina Hurricanes. Like I said, Eastern Conference Finals. On Thursday, this is when I believe the whole conference finals started. On Thursday, the Florida Panthers won 3-2 in Game 1 after it went 4 overtimes. Again, Hockey's been more exciting. It went 4 overtimes. I have to work. I have to work Monday through Friday. I don't think that game ended till like almost 2 o'clock, like basically close to 2 o'clock. It went 4 overtimes. I kicked myself out because I have to get up around like 5:30, 6 o'clock to go to work, whatever, and get dressed and all that. And I was so tired, but I really didn't. I stayed. I kind of fell in and out of sleep. Like I was able to stay up through the entire game. At some points I had to rewind when it was intermission. I was rewinding and watching certain parts in the game because I was like, yo, damn, this is crazy, like, yo. But it was 4 overtimes, man. I was so tired, but I thought it was worth it because it really was a good game. And the Florida Panthers is the team I'm rooting for. They're not my favorite team. I'm not trying to say like I'm bandwagon, but no, I'm really rooting for the Florida Panthers. I just love the way they play, yo. They get the gritty defensive style that they play. They just know how to, like I said, grind it out. It's really amazing, yo, that, again, this is another team like the Miami Heat I was talking about for NBA. It's like you don't look at the Florida Panthers as an 8th seed. Like, that's what they are. They were the lowest seed, I believe, in the Eastern Conference coming into the playoffs. For they knocked out Boston, and then they knocked out Toronto, and now they're already up 1-0 after beating the Carolina Hurricanes on their home floor, home skating rink, whatever. After 4 overtimes, man. That 4 freaking overtimes, yo. That is insane. That was a really good game. And then also, they played again yesterday. The Panthers won again in overtime. They only won 1 overtime, unfortunately. But they won again 2-1 to go up 2-0. So the Panthers they basically stole home court like the Miami Heat did. I said home court, home skating rink, whatever. Just like Miami Heat did with Boston. Yeah, Florida. Yeah, the Florida teams, Miami Heat, Florida Panthers. It's crazy right now. Yeah, they stole home field advantage away from the Carolina Hurricanes. And just like the Celtics, the Carolina Hurricanes are in trouble. They are like in a lot of trouble. Being down 0-2 against a team like Florida, where you're going to have to earn your win. The way I've watched the Florida Panthers, you're going to have to earn your win, dude. They are just so defensively locked in, and just like you have to earn it. So if Carolina comes back and wins this series, and let alone tie the series, my hat goes off to them. Like, because that is the Florida Panthers, dude. Are just, oh man, they're one of the, I don't know, they're just so fun to watch. There was a goal yesterday. I forgot the name of the player that did it. I apologize. But I think the first goal the Florida Panthers have, I think they got in the game, was probably one of the, not probably, it was the best goal I've ever seen. I forgot the way the player did. I think it was like he did it behind like his legs near the net as he was going past the goalie of Carolina Panthers. My God, this is NFL, Sean. The Carolina Hurricanes. And he did it kind of like under, like behind his under his legs or whatever. I'm sorry, I forgot how he scored it, but go back and check it out. It was, to me, the best goal I've ever seen. I know there's obviously more amazing goals out there. Again, if I paid attention to hockey more, I would know that. But I thought that was the best one I've ever seen. And again, Carolina, the Florida Panthers, man, they are nice, man. They are really, really good. So they're up 2-0. The Vegas Golden Knights and the Dallas Stars started their series on Friday. I believe they played today on Sunday, so they'll have their game 2 tonight. And the Vegas Golden Knights on Friday won in their first home game. Another overtime game. Again, NHL Playoffs, overtime. It's like the theme this year. Won in overtime 4-3 in game 1 against the Dallas Stars. So that was a good game. Dallas Stars have really, can't hang their head on that. You fought hard. It's game 1 in their place, in their building. In Vegas right now so far is defending home skating rink advantage, whatever they say. So 1-0 over there in the Western Conference for Vegas Golden Knights, and the Florida Panthers up 2-0 in the Eastern Conference. That is it, you guys, as far as episode 9, Jack of All Plays. This has been your boy, Sean Bellamy. Again, not a whole lot going on besides NHL playoffs. Baseball is going on. I know I told you guys to talk about baseball, but right now we're in the middle of the season. It's still early, really not much to really talk about besides where your team is right now. My Seattle Mariners are really up and down. I think we won yesterday, 7-3 against Atlanta Braves. I think we're like 22 wins and 23 losses. Clearly right now, if I had to throw this out there, the Tampa Bay Rays are the best team in baseball. There's no debating that at this point. But it's still early. I don't know how much news I'm really going to talk about with baseball, unless, you know, maybe next week I'll bring in maybe some injury news or something like that. Or, you know, maybe there's a trade or something that happens. But so far, baseball's been cool. It's been a good season, very weird season. But again, you win that many games in a season, in the regular season, what do you expect? You know, it's just going to be a seesaw of emotions and stuff with fans and everything. Because again, it is early. Again, nothing else really going on in NFL besides, you know, the signing here and there, you know, speculation about where, you know, what team should do or who's going to get cut or was this the right draft pick for this guy or this team or, you know, and there. And again, NBA playoffs, we're here with the Eastern Conference Finals, West Conference Finals. So yeah, that is pretty much it, you guys. Again, this was Jack of All Plays episode 9. You guys have a good Sunday. I am out. Peace.